every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight out of chaos, into light, no first place. But man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing. Tires screaming that southern heat, 200 strong on NASCAR beat. Lap red on turn 4, smoke so thick can't see the door. Somehow I slip right through, like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pilot call my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every ride. Got wings, but I got pride, made it to the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, shaky hands. This ain't a game, it's Spider-Man. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun to took out then all. Somehow I found my lane, like Moses through that fire rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pilot call my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't.
All right, here we are back in the booth here on Racers Elite Network. I am your broadcaster. We're going to bring a fantastic race for you this Sunday afternoon. As always, my good friend and colleague here, Russ, in the booth. Russ, how are you doing tonight?
John, man, we're back here at Atlanta again for another exciting Racers Elite, man. I'm ready to get it underway.
Well, I will tell you, we were here Friday night, and we seen quite the entertaining race, if you will. So, there's a couple of things that we think that we found out on Friday night that I know that a lot of these drivers are going to be able to carry over. And again, just to make sure that we separate these races out, Friday night was a fun run, a money grab run. Tonight is going to be that standard chartered event for all those charter drivers able to take the track tonight. So we are pretty deep tonight on this field, but I do think, Russ, that we learned quite a few things at Atlanta as these next gens pace this track on Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw guys struggling pretty much all night up until maybe like the last 50 laps or so. We weren't really sure whether it had something to do with a track update, a car update, just the update in general. But it really looked like if you were like the leader or lead car of a pack and you had somebody behind you, you were getting loose. And for a plate track, well, quote unquote plate track like what Atlanta's become, it's kind of unusual. Well, it even happened in the regular NASCAR race last night. Guys were saying that if the car behind was too close for too long, it would get those cars in the front arrow loose. So that kind of really explained what we saw with that problem Friday night.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a little bit more of that. We talked to some of those drivers after that race on Friday, and they were pretty shocked at how this next gen handled as well. And I think, what we looked at and what we found as broadcasters here in the booth, and thank goodness we did not have to take the steering wheel and get down there and race, is about 15 to 20 laps. These cars like to start getting really tail happy. Like you said, they get loose, and especially if you're the leader, it seemed like to us, especially those people that had the clean air on their nose, which normally worked in the reverse. You always want clean air. It seemed like here with this new tire model, you might not want to be the leader, as that one and having somebody tucked underneath of you seemed to get that car loose, and we were seeing a lot of leaders get out of the turn on the exits of 2 and 4, getting loose and hitting the wall. Hopefully we will not see that again tonight, as I think we've learned a lot. The drivers have learned a lot, and we're going to bring you 156 laps here at Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that race Friday night, I think we've seen like 3 or 4 times where, the overall race leader would come out of a corner and just get loose, overcorrect, hit the wall, spin down to the infield, something, because of just that aero loose with the worn tires. It was really kind of surprising for us to see. And another thing we also heard was, that maybe with the current refresh remodel of this track, there's a little added bumps, especially through the chicane there on the front stretch. And, we had 2 of the guys that we had talked to said, the car would kind of really get kind of up in the air with those bumps, which would in turn get them loose again. So that's something else we have to watch out for tonight.
Yeah, the other thing that I think that we can bring over to this race is going to be the entry to pit lane. And, here you can see as they're coming down the backstretch, you will see a lot of cars start to peel off, hit that inside retaining wall, because that entry to pit road at Atlanta, as you can see, as we're following this driver around, that pit road entry is about halfway down that backstretch and 3/4 down the way on that backstretch, Russ. If they do not hit that commitment cone there, that is a 40-second hold penalty. That is going to be a killer, especially if you have green flag pit stops. So we're going to have to watch out for that. We're going to have to watch out for the looseness. And as always, this is a huge draft track. So you are going to have to look at all of these things while running mere inches off of your opponents.
Yeah, like you said, that kind of a different pit entry, that stumped up a couple of drivers Friday night. This is really the only track that has that backstretch commitment cone to pit road. Most every other track out there, you get onto pit road, your commitment cones are on the exit of turn 4. This one here, you got to peel to the apron on the backstretch, and like you said, you don't hit that commitment cone. That's a 40-second hold penalty on pit road, and that could really ruin your race.
Yeah, agreed. And we've already got some people over here in the chat, and that is Cody. And Cody was one of our drivers that we had here on Friday night, as it looks like we are going to have our qualifying done. So Cody knows very, very well what it's going to take to get around this track. But let's see if we can go up. And now that we have our results for qualifying, we're going to pop that up for everyone to see here. And let's see if we can show that. We did not have a whole lot of takers try to put some laps in. You can see, and I'm just going to clear this for you here, Russ. We only had 9 drivers put time in, and that's going to be Corey. Corey is one of those drivers that runs really just these events and the charter events. DPV is going to be back there in 2nd. Cody Benelli is going to be in 3rd. Alex Gates in 4th. Andrew Teft is going to be in 5th. Brian LaPratte is going to be in 6th. Blair Holloman in 7th. Michael Prince is going to be in 8th. And then Kinsley Smith is going to round out those drivers that put a time in. But we'll continue to let you see where they go here all the way through. Dennis Kane, it's good to see him back. Russ, I know that he had ran with us for several seasons, had been away for a while, so good to see him back as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of the Racers Elite regulars in here tonight. And, some of these other drivers, that, they only run these special events, but it's nice to see we got 19 cars out there tonight, I believe. And, It's also really nice to see Michael Prince out there tonight. I hear he had a little bit of a special occasion this weekend, John.
Yeah, from what I understand, and this is coming from Andrew Teft, Michael had welcomed and has welcomed a nice new child in from Friday night. So congratulations, Michael Prince, on bringing that newborn into this world. So I know those are certainly very special occasions, and great that that you're able to get out here and race. So hopefully you can put up a nice finish. I know that you would definitely enjoy that. So let's see if we can get ourselves ready to go here, Russ. And I look forward at 156 laps. I definitely look forward to a lot of fireworks tonight. I think you're going to see, some cars especially start to learn this track. If you have some drivers that did not run Friday, they're running tonight. Certainly that's going to show up as they go around this track. But, man, I think we're in for another wild one.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like you said, there's quite a few of these guys who were out here Friday night. I'm sure they're looking into account the events from Friday night and taking that knowledge that they learned, bringing it in here tonight. The guys that weren't there, they're going to kind of have to learn it on the fly because, we know anything about Racers Elite. These guys get up on the wheel and they get up on it quick. So it'll be interesting. And like you said, I'm sure we'll see some fireworks here tonight.
Yeah, and if you think this is going to go for a long green flag, it looks like these cars can handle, out of the draft, they can handle about 56 laps of fuel. So we're probably looking at right around maybe 60 to 62 if you're not the leader there on fuel. So that is also something to watch out for. I don't think the tires are going to make it. We haven't seen the tires make it yet that long, especially those 56 laps. But technically, if we were to go green from now until the end, they're going to have to two-stop this thing, and finding a teammate, finding a buddy to pit with you is going to be paramount. As these drivers get themselves ready to go, they're now going to peel off. That pace car is going to peel off and bring these drivers down to this starting line. So here we go, Russ, 156 laps here at Atlanta. Green is in the air. Corey is going to bring them down. Oh, what a great run that Corey got there off of the start. Everything nice and green, 2 by 2. They are stacked up. Corey out there in front, leading this train all the way down into the entry of 3. And I believe, Rush, you're going to see everybody with 156 laps. I think you're going to play nice here early, maybe try to filter in, get in line where they're supposed to, and see what these tires are going to do.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get quite a few laps underneath you right now. Get these tires warmed up, get them running. But we've just seen, coming through that trial over there for that first, we've seen a couple cars fan out, and that's that adaptation of those new bumps. And if you're not ready for them, it can get you out of shape real quick, like we saw with the 6 there. But I mean, right now I think it's all about just kind of getting in line, get a feel for the car, get everything settled in, and just ride for right now.
Yeah, Cody Bonelli sitting there in second. Now, Cody had a pretty difficult race there on Friday, but I believe he is one of those drivers that learned quite a bit. As you can see him now, he's in second position. Another driver that just really dawns on me here is that 77 there of Alex Gates. He was one of 4 drivers left on the lead lap there in Friday's race, so he certainly knows how to get around Atlanta as well. So we've got a couple of drivers that we saw there. Kinsley Smith, always good on those plate tracks. You got to watch him. He is in that Napa 15 machine. So a lot of your normal suspects here up front is now Cody starting to peer around, trying to find a way to get this pass done here for the lead.
Yeah, no kid, no. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Looks like right now, we're kind of seeing shades of Friday night where that bottom line is going out to be the pro-dominant line right now. But, like we saw later on in this race, and this race is going to transition from day to night. Later on in that race, that top line kind of really came in, and we started seeing guys get some really strong runs off that high side. But the bottom line is going to be tough right now.
Yeah, and it looks like now Corey already starting to search around. Cody's going to follow in those tire tracks to try to keep that draft onto the front nose of that car. But I do know that it looks like they're trying to find something. But keep an eye out on that tri-oval. We had a couple of drivers really get those left side tires off on the tri-oval, and it seemed to help them make that a little bit straighter line through there, and then other drivers were pushing almost all the way out to the wall, Russ. That seemed to be one of those points on this track all the way through Friday night that was causing a lot of trouble for these drivers.
Yeah, you get your tires down there below that line. It can help you or hurt you. I mean, you get them down there at the wrong time, and it could cut your car right to the left and spin you right out, or like you said, it could help give you kind of a trip to run through there. But one thing we'll have to keep an eye out for that we saw Friday night too was as these cars turn these laps, get about 25 laps on, we started seeing them getting a little bit tight through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So they would run that white line on the bottom, and then you see them drift up about a half a lane or so because they almost start running like a diamond pattern. So something else we'll have to watch out for too.
Yeah, that's a really good point. As you saw that Corey just kind of poked out, got on that high side and allowed this train to get by him. I'm not sure if he's trying to fall back a little bit, save some tire, or maybe even save some fuel, but that is going to turn this over to Cody Pinelli now. He is going to be your leader. Right behind him is going to be Andrew Tepps. He's got a new little paint scheme there. Right behind Andrew is going to be Blair Holloman. Blair with a fantastic run in Tuesday's night's truck league there at Bristol. I believe he brought home that win in that league. So look out for him tonight too. One of your charter drivers that you might not have seen Friday, but he is out here running tonight as we are 19 strong. Looks like Truth Hope is going to be your last driver here, but he has fallen off of that lead pack. Not certain what happened to Truth or what's going on here, but fell off of that lead pack. I don't see a lot of damage there, Russ.
Yeah, not really sure. I mean, I know I saw him kind of come into the race a little bit late. Not sure if he was, able to get any kind of practice laps in, but, I don't know if he had some kind of an issue or if he's just trying to play it safe at this point, but you don't want to play it too safe because, these guys will catch you real quick. It already looks like 21 seconds off pace right now. Yeah,
to me, so if we just go back and we look at these lap times, I am going to, let's see if we can go back and look. He was a 31.74, so that's 31 seconds, almost 32 seconds last lap, a 30.2 were your leaders. So, yeah, he's about a second and a half off of the pace right now. So just like you said, whatever his thought process is, maybe he's riding around in the back, trying to make sure he avoids the big one, but he had better get a move on because it looks like he's about 10 seconds from being lapped.
Yeah, that's the problem. You lose that draft here at these plate tracks, and you would think even though this is only a mile and a half, it runs exactly just like Daytona and Talladega in the aspect of you lose the draft, and you can get lapped really quick.
Cody Pinelli still out there leading. He dropped right behind Corey, found himself there in second place, and now, once Corey dropped back, he has really picked up the pace. As you can see now, just about a car, maybe 2 cars between him, Andrew, and your third place driver. So it looks like your 2 front runners trying to break away from that pack. You see Alex Gates starting to poke in and put a little bit of pressure here on Blair.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Alex was one of those drivers that ran Friday night, and he was one of the only of the 4 drivers to finish on the lead lap. So, he definitely knows how to get around this place. So I'm not surprised to see him up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a fan out there in chat beta saying, let's go to P1. Yeah, had a good run last Friday. Looks like he's doing really well tonight, too. Yes, he does have the Blue Angels livery on it, which looks fantastic. So he is putting on a really good show. And again, we're about 14 laps in, Russ. So, folks, if you have not tuned in just yet and you did not tune into Friday's races, now you can see Truth Hoke. I just saw him poke into that screen as we went into turn 3. So he is really close to getting lapped. But right about now is where you're going to start seeing a lot of cars dancing this top line. Now you see one right there, and that's Corey in that 20 car. He is already loose. Now we are 3-4 wide there in the back. Everybody is going to save it there, Russ, but here we go. This is where that tire wear really starts to come into play here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't speak it into existence, and then, we see Corey get full on sideways coming out of turn 4. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that Friday night. About 15, 20 laps in, these tires really start to equalize out, and you start seeing guys get loose coming off the corner, especially if they got a little bit too much wheel on it to keep it off the wall. Those things can snap really, really fast.
Yeah, you just saw what happened there as those drivers start to chase these cars up the track when they get loose. It looked like Paul kind of had to chase his up there. That put 54 in the wall, and then coming through the tri-oval, we had another driver on the inside of that 54 move up that track. So these cars are starting to move around. This is what we saw on Friday. So now you're going to start seeing those. Is now Truth staying on that high side is fixing to be a lap down. Really, like you said, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he's trying to get a feel for this car, but you can guarantee that driver will be back in the mix before this thing is over with.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get one caution and brings them right back into it for sure.
All right, let's see if we can go and do a little onboard. Let's see how this Ford is handling right behind this driver. What we want to listen for, folks, and we'll be quiet here for about a lap or two and let you hear it. And now it looks like Andrew's turning really well out, coming out of those turns where you see Cody pushing up just a little bit. Andrew able to hug that red line. But just really want to see where that throttle play is here. So let's see if we go on board with Andrew for a lap. Want to ride on board with Cody because it does look like Cody's driving that car harder in the turn. See where he's taking that later entry. The reason he's taking that later entry is he's a little bit harder on that throttle. Andrew's able to back off of the throttle because he has that draft and get that car down to the bottom line. So really what Cody's going to want to do, because that's starting to burn that right front, as you can see him push up right there in the middle of those turns and get off of that line. So what Cody's going to want to do is start to let off a little bit before those turns to be able to have that next gen get down to the bottom line, hook that line and have a good drive off.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was talking about earlier on when talking about when you're seeing guys about 20, 25 laps in, through the corners of just having to really fight to keep the car on the bottom because it wants to push up that, half a lane just from the tire wear and getting so tight through the corner. It's hard for them to hold that bottom line. And if you're the car behind, you're kind of watching for that because that could give you the opportunity to sneak your nose to the inside and try to make a move on that driver in front.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got quite a few of these drivers now making some moves around this track. Some still using that outside. We have seen with some tire wear, now 21 laps in, so it does look like these charter drivers really doing a good job here, hanging on to these cars in 21 laps. Now, we do have a bit cooler track, and I want to see if we can show our track temperature. That's going to be over here on the right-hand side of your screen. So it looks like we're 75 degrees tonight, and this is about 8:30 in sim time for these drivers, and that's going to give you an 82-degree track temperature, so a little bit cooler than what it was Friday. So I believe that's allowed them to save tires for a bit longer, but it is starting to get dicey up front here.
Yeah, we're starting to see drivers poking out to that outside, trying to see if they can make something work out there. These guys were pretty content on just running single file on the bottom, but looks like guys are starting to get a little bit racy.
Yeah, the tires have now broken in, as it did look like Blair Holloman maybe sliding up a little bit to try to get a run, not able to make that run happen. That opened the door to Alex Gates there in the 77, and he is going to take over that third position. But it also looks like Cody is starting to push up as well, and that is going to give that inside line to Andrew Teff. So he's got to be very, very careful, and make sure that he's nailing that bottom line, or you're going to have a pass for the lead here very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew's sitting back there. He's watching every move that Cody was making. He's seeing where he's getting tight and, trying to really look for an opportunity to get by.
Oh, now we've got some wall scrubbing coming through this tri-oval. You can see the cars in the back spreading out. They're using every bit of the track. That is all right. There's nobody on the outside of them. But you see now Blair hanging that outside. He's staying strong out there. He is fighting back on the 77, trying to get that outside to move, and he does have some help with him, as now we've got 4 cars lined up on this high side, trying to build some momentum here. And it looks like, Russ, this might be working, as he's going to edge in front of the 77 now. Man, I said that was going to work, Russ, and then as soon as I said that, he starts to fall back in another position. So maybe that line breaking up just a little bit, the momentum gone. They had some good energy pushing through there. Now Cody is going to get high, have to chase that car up. And, man, that is going to put him on the outside. Kinsley Smith now getting a little tight and pushing up through the center of the turn. Alex Gates getting a little loose here. So now here we are, 2x2. Cody Bonelli on the outside, having to chase that car up. That's going to open the door to your new leader here, and that's Andrew Teft. Alex Gates right behind him. Kinsley Smith behind Alex.
Yeah, you know, John, just going back to what you were saying when Blair snuck himself out there to the outside trying to move to the front. Now, the one thing that we did notice Friday night, too, is, you know, with this track being quite a bit different than your traditional plate tracks, one thing we found out really is the side draft really did not seem to help at all. You know, a lot of those plate tracks, you know, if you're on the outside and you come down and try to side draft that car to the inside, it would kind of bring that bottom line back a little bit. You know, and the one thing we noticed on Friday night was you could side draft all you wanted, but it really did not seem to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, I believe that is the new tire model and the new physics in that car. I did run a race at Talladega last night in this next-gen car, and what you just said is exactly what's happening. There is really the side draft on the next-gen is non-existent in the sim any longer, so what you should be able, or you did before the physics update, is even if you're on the outside line, you can get a lot of energy because you can pull that bottom line back to you while you run it. Oh, and now Cody Bonelli hard in the wall, looked like Blair into the back end of him. And now here is the wreck. There we go, folks. There is the first wreck. We're going to go back and look.
Looks like maybe just a bad bump out of turn 4 there.
It is quite possible. We're going to push this back. It's Cody Bonelli. That hard right front damage on that wheel. That is a broken toe link. So that is... Oh, it looks like Cody's just loose there. That is not a push by Blair. Just got loose. That's what we talked about with this tire. And then by then, it's just all about the checkup. And after that, it just becomes a melee. Blair's going to get into that. Let's see if we can follow him. He's going to get up toward the wall. Christopher Pindell is going to be involved. As now Blair goes sideways, Pindell is turning down, and he is going to hook Sean Dunaway in the 0-1. And this is going to become a 4-car accident here. 99's involved. That's Dennis Kane.
So that was a prime example of that that arrow loose that we were talking about earlier. I mean, you know, like you said, you know, there was no bump or anything from Blair, but just running as close as he was, he just got that 19 car, Cody Bonelli, all out of sorts, and just wasn't able to hold on to it.
Yeah, that car, we could see it early on. Oh, Andrew looks like he slid through his pits. That is another tire model difference. You really got to be careful getting into the pits in these next gens. They'll slide right through that pit stop. But, you know, that is another thing that we talked about. We saw Cody when we were in the onboard with Andrew. We saw that car pushing up a little bit, and we saw him really driving into the turn extremely hard. I thought that was going to give him problems a little bit later on. It seemed like that kind of come to fruition. However, you know, you're 30 laps in, so certainly what was 15 to 20 laps Friday, now about 30 laps looks like to be that part where these tires really start to work themselves over. Right now, still in the pits is Corey, Blair, Sean Dunaway, Truth Hoke, and Dennis Kane. I don't believe that Truth got caught up in that. But it doesn't look like he was your lucky dog there, because Truth did not get a wave around. We'll have to see how this timing tower comes back out. But it looks like that proud Papa here, Russ, is going to take over your lead, has put him in the first position with Kinsley right on the outside of him, and then Andrew's going to be there in third. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex is going to be in third.
Yeah, I was saying 45 had a really good pit stop, it looked like, and able to get himself out front and lead some laps. So good on him.
Yeah, it looks like possibly a two-tire stop there. Try to go back. He had a 15-second pit stop. No, I think he's going to be. I think that is a four-tire stop. I just believe that Andrew, sliding through the pits is what really backed him up just a little bit. But as we reset this, it's going to be Prince, Smith, Teft, PV, and the other Andrew Teft are all going to be your top five here. All right, so we got Lockridge Motorsports saying, Devin here with DLM and Tier 1 setup shop. He is on the box for Eric Howard. Yeah, welcome, man. We certainly appreciate you being in tonight. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. So here we go. Now, lights are out on this pace car. Again, Russ, what we've seen here is now it looks like about 30 laps is where we're starting to get some pretty extreme tire wear, especially if you're out front. So remember, Cody Bonelli was the driver that led after Corey did. Corey led a lot of laps, and then he fell to the back. Cody did the same thing. So I think it still plays true that leader is really hurting that right front tire and getting those things loose, and they're sliding around those turns after several laps on those tires.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, Friday night we were seeing it, right around the 20 to 22 lap range. We really see guys starting to get out of shape. Here being around lap 30, it could potentially be because of the cooler track temp. We're looking at about currently probably 10 degrees cooler track temp than what we had Friday night. So we'll see how this plays out as we're back green again.
Man, and I will tell you that leader is always getting some fantastic jumps as he's going to pull about 4/10 ahead of Kinsley Smith. Now, Alex Teft is going to be down there on the bottom. He's going to be kind of all by himself. The 15 and the 9 are linked up top. And it does look like Alex is going to have some nice energy. So again, this is the difference in that draft model and the physics of this next-gen car versus what it was before. Before this update, that 15 and 9 would have just... Oh, now they're getting through this tri-oval crazy. Alex, a little heavy on the throttle, is going to push Kinsley all the way to the wall. The 9 is right behind Kinsley. I mean, he can't see anything but the rear bumper of that 15 machine.
Yeah, he's going to have to play that safe, or else he could get to 15 and out of stores really quick. These cars don't bump draft like they used to.
No, it is different. It is a different model. So what we were talking about before we saw some of that action through that trial was now they're getting through there again. If you have that driver in front of you, that's 2 to 3, maybe even 4/10 in front of you, and you pick up that draft, that bottom car, no matter if they have somebody behind helping or not, is going to have a greater run. Just that ability to get momentum coming toward another driver is bigger than two drivers linked up. So that is a huge difference in the way that this model is working versus that last model. That last model, you had to have somebody pushing you if you were going to catch up. This model, you just need to be able to catch that draft.
Yeah, I mean, momentum is everything right now with this new model, and we've seen that. We saw that a few times there Friday night, and we'll also see it here again tonight. But going back to that trial there, like we were talking about earlier, you can see with them guys coming through, you can see their cars bouncing on the bumps there since the new update. So it's going to really be interesting to see how this plays out again once these tires wear in. We'll be able to watch these guys kind of spread out as they hit those bumps.
Yeah, you can see now Kinsley and that 9 machine of DPV are rolling to the back here because they were on that outside, and that energy is just built up on this inside line all the way around this Atlanta track. So they're going to get shuffled all the way to the back. Andrew, who slid through his box, was the leader with that caution come out, now already back up to third as he has ran the bottom of that line. Paul Shaw is going to be your 4th place driver, and then Webb there, that 54 car. We saw him a little bit earlier tag the outside wall on the entry of 3. He is all the way up to 5th place. So some new drivers up here in this top 5, really trying to show what they're made of. However, the concern here, Russ, if I'm this 45 of Michael Prince, is what's going to happen to these tires?
Yeah, for sure. We see it time and time again between tonight and Friday night. It just seems like as the leader, you're just burning those tires up a lot quicker than what we're used to seeing at a plate track. So it's really something you got to think about as being a leader. Of do I want to be leading, or do I want to fall and try to save these tires up a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do feel like, that is certainly going to be something that they're going to think about all the way throughout this night, and especially if your teammates. So if you have like Alex and Andrew there, do you sit back, Russ, and say, hey, let's just follow this 45? We know if we're out leading that the tires are going to get hurt, so we're in a really good spot. We'll let the 45 burn the tires up, and that last 15 to 20 laps of this run, we can be out front. We can put a little bit more wear on those tires because we saved them the first 20.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 40 laps into this. We still got 116 laps to go. I mean, really, there's no point in really risking burning your stuff up too early on in a run at this point. The one thing we found is, like we said, unlike a traditional drag track, it's going to take time, more time than usual to work your way to the front. So, you want to make sure you're there when the time is right instead of burning your stuff up at the end and being the one getting freight trained.
Yeah, absolutely. Locker is still out there in the chat saying starting to find what works aero-wise for speed on these cars. And I will tell you that's the first half of this statement. I will tell you that is a big thing. Those that can acclimate themselves to that new physics model, the new way that these tires work, is certainly those that are going to dominate these aero-based tracks before everybody else gets caught up and then says, the looser we can get them, the more they grow on me. And yeah, loose is fast. We all know that. But man, I will tell you, one of the things that are sketchy about that next gen, Russ, is the amount of wear that the left side tires get put on these next gen cars. So what happens when you get in to a turn? The looser these cars get, they actually get sliding loose where all four of the tires and the whole car wants to slide versus just a left and right rear tire. So it's really hard to hang on to these next gens when they're that loose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw that with that accident. We saw that with Blair Holloman. Cody got loose there and got, once he got up into the wall, Blair was coming out of turn 4, and we saw him slowly start the four-wheel slide, and then all of a sudden it just snapped on him. So it's one of those slow, and then it goes. So, I mean, the aero dependency of these cars is really, really insane since this remodel.
Yeah, here at Echo Park, we are now 44 laps in. Michael Prince still leading the way. Alex Teft and Andrew Teft following close behind. You can see that entire pack is in our view of every driver that is coming down here on this chartered event. It does look like Michael Prince maybe with a blink out. Oh, he is back. Oh, my goodness. He blinked out for us there for a second. So 45 laps in of a 156-lap race. So we are closely nearing sub 100 laps, and it already seems like it's going quite a bit better than what it did Friday night. These drivers learning a lot, figuring out what it's going to take, as now you can see the lights have come on here at Echo Park. And, man, I've got to tell you, we went back green. It looks like we probably got about 20 laps, and you're going to start to see these cars dance around again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, the lights have come on. It's a little bit earlier than what they came on Friday night, so we may see these cars get a little bit better handling with, once the sun goes down and the lights come on. This track tent might cool off enough to really kind of help give these cars a little bit more grip to the track. But yeah, we're closing in on that point of where we got to start watching these guys.
Yeah, I wanted to go back here, Russ, and take a look at some of these drivers that got caught up in that wreck earlier on. So I'm just taking a look at the 99, Dennis Kane. He's riding around here in the back. You can see pretty heavy damage, not only the left side, but, man, that front end damage is what's going to hurt this 99 there in the draft. Now, he can hang on to the tail end of this draft, but I got to tell you, he cannot be out front. Sean Dunaway right in front of him. Another driver with some pretty heavy damage. That left front tire, or that left front fender, and the hood is caved in just a little bit. But outside of that, a couple little scuffs there on the Hello Kitty, Russ, but I think outside of that, he is okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine with just that little bit of damage there. But, it's like you said with the 99. I mean, that front nose being so crinkled up right now, to be anywhere but where he's at right now, it would just put a big dent in the air and make things worse than what they are.
Yeah, Cody Benelli looking no worse for the wear here. Let's see how Corey is handling. Corey looks good as well. So a couple of these drivers taking that fast repair as needed to get those repairs done on their machines. They look like they're in good shape. So a couple of drivers, Sean Dunaway, Dennis Kane, deciding not to get those repairs or not to get those fast repairs used. And it does look like maybe that 54. Let me take a look at the 54 here, and Rick Webb. He might also have a bit of damage. Now, he looks pretty clean. So really just two drivers opting to get some damage fixed outside of taking that fast repair.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this early on in the race, if you've got time, you know, if you don't really have a lot of damage, and you know where you could kind of just get little bits of it fixed every time you come down pit road. You know, I mean, these guys are assuming, whoa, we see one loose there. You know, these guys are going to assume that we're going to end up with more cautions. They'll be able to come down pit road, get more work done. You know, still, you know, a little over 100 laps to go. Still plenty of time to get back into it.
Ooh, the 76 has not. He has done everything except for wreck. Now he's going to kind of touch Kirby just a little. That's going to put Kirby there on the high side. Eric looks like he's got that thing straightened back out. He is actually right back in that draft. He's going to be able to catch back up to the 54. Now we're going to watch Eric, because this is what I talked about before. He is going to be able to really suck up to the back end of this 54 pretty quickly, just based on the fact that that aero model now really lends itself to being far enough back where you can get a great run. He's about 0.5 of a second back. Kirby now trying to push him to get himself back up there. That's just going to hurt these three drivers here in the back of Dennis, Cody, and Dunaway. Now, Cody is not damaged, but Dunaway and Kane certainly are. Kane leading the way in this pack, having that front end damage is probably not the best thing.
Yeah, I think, you know, if anything, maybe Cody needs to get by him and be the lead car. It looks like he's the one that's got the least amount of damage right now, so he would be the best one to be out leading this group, be able to pull them back up.
Yeah, this is probably not going to help. Dunaway's going to pull down below. I think Cody tried to follow Dennis. I believe Dennis tried to pull up there to let Cody go by. Cody was trying to get in that draft. Now, Alex Teff coming down pit road. What has happened to Alex here? I don't see any damage on this car. Is this some form of a quick pit strategy? 54 laps in here. Is he thinking one stop this, Russ?
I don't know, man. We got 102 left to go, and I don't. I'm pretty sure he can't make it. So maybe he's just trying to do just a little bit of a different pit strategy, or you know, maybe he only took 2 tires on that first stop, and it showed to not really help much. So. Oh, it looks like he blinked out, maybe.
Yeah, it does look like he has blinked out. So we'll go back here to the live action. Michael Prince still leading this thing. Andrew Teff there in second. Third is now going to be Paul Shaw. And it does look like Eric Howard is going to duck out. Now, Eric might be coming down pit road as well.
I'll say I'm just now looking, and it looks like Alex has decided to retire from the race.
Does look that
I don't know
way.
if something maybe came up, or having some kind of a little issue or something, but he has disconnected from the race.
Yeah, it looked like Eric having just a bit of a blinking issue as well, but we've got to be careful. Russ, one of the things that we talked about in our pre-race is got to be how you get onto pit road. So it is possible that Eric almost botched that pit road entry, because that entry is about 3/4 of the way down that backstretch, and if you miss that commitment code, that is a 40-second hold. You cannot just peel off of turn 4 like you're used to and come down this pit road here at Echo Park.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest differences between this one specific track and all the other ones on the circuit. And if it's not something that you're thinking about, like you said, it's a 40-second hold. If you don't make that backstretch commitment cone, that could ruin your entire race.
Yeah, and I see Lockridge there in the chat saying that he has internet issues. So Eric doing the right thing there, just kind of getting out of everyone's way while he's got some blinking issues, so that thing gets straightened out. So hopefully he can come back to life here pretty quick. So now we're going to see. I want to take a look at Paul because I've seen Paul the past couple laps. He's really drifting up high, and I think he might be one of those drivers that's kind of feeling the effects of these tires. And you can just hear how he let off on the entry, but then immediately gassed back up. And I feel like that is going to cause some premature wear on these tires. Now, you still have Prince out there in the lead. BP, PB there in chat saying Big Prince leading the pack, and certainly is. And again, one more time, we want to congratulate him on the newcomer to his family. Oh, here we go. You got Andrew with a great run, trying to make this pass here on the outside. That is going to leave him vulnerable, but he's going to be able to clear him now. Looks like the 25 is going to go with him, duck back down. Now 1-2. It looks like, man, Michael Prince just getting tag teams where the 25 and the 6 making quick work of him there. Now Andrew Teff leading and Paul in second.
Yeah, like we said, we're closing in on that 30 laps since these guys were on pit road, and maybe that the 45 just kind of used his stuff up enough, and the 6 and the 25 just had a really good run coming out of the corner and was able to make that move work.
All right, 61 laps in the books now, so we are winding this puppy down pretty quick. Now, there's a little bit of separation. It looks like Prince might be struggling to keep that thing wide open through those turns and in that draft. That's going to allow the 6 and the 25, as now it looks like the 9 is going to start to poke out. So Dale trying to make some moves here. See if we can go back to Dale. He is going to be right behind Pindell, making that move on the outside. He's going to have a ton of momentum here, and now he's going to look to the inside of Pindell.
94 was one of those drivers involved in that first wreck there. Good to see him working his way back up to the front.
Yeah, it looks like he took that fast repair. A couple of guys opted not to take that fast repair, but they have been able to stick onto the back of this pack, and that's Dennis Kane and Sean Dunaway. So even with that damage, they're still on the back, able to stay in this draft. Very smart move by them, because they can save that thing till later on in this race. Now DPV just, taking that higher entry, trying to get a diamond working on this track right behind Kinsley Smith. Using that momentum down this straightaway, it looks like Michael Prince was able to get back to the back bumper of that 25 machine. It looks like the 25 of Paul still pushing out high all the way through the center of these turns.
Yeah, I mean, we're beyond that 30 lap mark now, so it's not surprising to see these guys starting to get just a little tight and through the center of the corner, but we're not too far away from probably seeing them start to get a little bit loose off the corner.
Yeah, it's just so different, and I can't remember, as long as I've been around iRacing, these last few updates where they've changed the physics models of some of these cars, they've changed the tire model. I haven't been through a whole lot of tire model changes, but this one seems to be pretty severe, especially for the next gen. I don't know if anyone out there races road, Russ, but about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that initial GTP tire change completely changed the way that car drove. So there is a big learning curve for all of these people that got used to that old next gen.
Yeah, that's one of the things when it comes to iRacing. Every season they release these updates and try to upgrade and update the physics models, the tire models, what have you. And you spend 12 weeks in iRacing trying to racing one specific car or a series of cars, and then they do this update, and then you got to learn how to drive that car all over again. I've seen it way too many times.
Yeah, and that is what they're doing. Now, I will tell you, I said Paul, was starting to push up a little bit, but I got to tell you, he looks like he has a hot rod underneath of him tonight, as he is given everything that Andrew Teff wants there, and he's starting to look to the outside. I thought he might go to the outside. This is a very interesting line that I keep watching Dale run. He is entering that turn extremely high. He's getting out of the draft and trying to get that run down the straightaway. Let's see if he does it here again. You can see him get way up top here and then start to work his way back down the track through that turn.
Yeah, that is kind of a different line than what most people will run around here, but hey, I mean, if it works for him, it works for him.
Yeah, he's making it work. There he goes. See how he's taking that high line on the entry, trying to work the angle. That's got to tell you that car is getting loose in the apex of the turn or on exit. So he's trying to change the momentum and how this car gets around that turn. He's doing it again. So he has stuck to this line, but you can see everybody else is going in on the line, washing up. He is going high and staying down. So we'll see how that that continues to run for him and what happens to his tires.
Yeah, that would be the really interesting part to see, if there was any kind of difference, between his tire wear to other people's tire wear running on the normal line. So, if he happens to finish on the podium tonight, maybe we'll have to ask him that.
And he's about half a car up, still getting clean air on the right-hand side. You really want it on that left front fender, but he is still getting clean air there on the right fender, trying to work that down. It does look like Pindell has now worked his way back to the bumper of the 9 car, and he is following his line through these turns. It's not working as well for him as I think it does for Dell, because it does look like now LaPrat is starting to pull closer to Pindell.
Yeah, it really just doesn't look like, anybody's really trying to do too much of anything right now. It looks like everybody's pretty content with just kind of running around, making laps, trying to get this thing down to the next pit cycle. And the one thing that's been baffling me is, and we just seen it right there coming out of the 55 at Truth Hokies, and we see it again, is how these cars are bottoming out in the corners. That's one aspect that I don't think we really noticed on Friday night, and that could also be a pretty defining factor to the way that these cars have been handling. We just weren't quite aware of it.
Yeah, and I believe I told you a little bit earlier when Truth was in the pits, I didn't think that he was going to get that lucky dog. I guess he did here, Russ, because he is right back on this lead lap. As it now looks like Howard is going to start to get past. He is right here on the outside. He's going to hang to the outside, allow these leaders to go down below him. But and we've got one more. Who is that has lost? That is Dennis Kane that has lost that pack. And I've got to tell you, that is going to be a killer for him, Russ, because with all that damage on the front end of that car, he is not going to be able to cut air and get anywhere close. Now, what Truth with a perfect car was running about 1.5 seconds off of that pace, you're about 2.5 seconds off of the pace for Dennis.
Yeah, you can see, you see him on the scoring tower down there, just how fast he is losing time. I mean, I think that one lap we saw him lose about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds from that car, from Cody Benelli in front of him. And yeah, that's definitely a sign that car is not doing well with all that damage on the car.
Yeah, that is not a happy car right now. Andrew Teff, still your leader. Paul still in second. Michael Prince, who got kind of tag teamed there by the 6 and 25. He is holding extremely strong in third position. Alex Gates in that 77 machine, he is in fourth. Kinsley Smith in fifth. And then you've got DPV, who was running that weird line. He's going to be back there in sixth. Pindell, really. So everyone just holding tight here. And I believe they're trying to get through this one green flag and get to some pit stops.
Yeah, if we make it green all the way to those pit stops, it's going to be really interesting to see these pit stops. And as I know, I had seen some guys in practice and then qualifying when they were trying to do some pit entry practice. They would get down there to the apron on the backstretch. Once they would hit turns 3 and 4, they would get really, really loose if they weren't down to a slow enough speed. So, it's gonna come down to how aggressive can you be once you're below that, once you're past that commitment code on the backstretch, getting through 3 and 4 and onto pit road without losing control.
Yeah, it's a good point. I saw a couple of drivers test it out in practice, and with that flat track, it's really difficult to get a lot of speed going through there. So, I've seen a couple of guys looping around, a couple of drivers not able to make that pit entry. So that's going to be very interesting. Or someone that did not practice it, that does not know about that and where they have to enter, where that commitment code is. Those drivers are going to have to serve a 40-second penalty, and man, that is going to absolutely ruin a race for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it quite a few times Friday night. Hopefully those guys learned their lessons. They brought it into tonight, and the ones that were not there Friday night, hopefully they saw the memo of the backstretch commitment cone.
Yeah, and it looked like Dennis Kane was able to come down pit road. He did get, we flashed to that when you were talking there, he did get that fast repair taken. As you saw that car get fixed in a hurry. But now he is 1 lap down. He is now going to be 2 when they come around. Now, Eric Howard was able, he is in 17th, able to snag onto the back of this pack. So that means Eric, as it stands, once this pass is made, he is going to be the only driver a lap down. He is in the lucky dog position, as it looked like his internet issues have now been fixed, but now he's waiting on a caution.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of sitting back there waiting and hoping. But looks like, I mean, I'm guessing we're probably 5 to 7 laps before we start potentially seeing some green flag pit stops. So gonna get kind of interesting here.
Yeah, and we've got a battle right here as it looks like Dennis able to filter in. Oh, and we've got a little bit of contact. Kinsley in the 15, the 9. Oh, and now he's going to get into Dennis in the 99. Dennis back up the track. Man, he is going to take that car. It looks like he didn't have any damage. But Dale making contact with Dennis, getting Dennis loose down on that apron while he was trying to make the pass on the inside of Kinsley. It looks like the lead pack now is going to be separated, and that's going to be between Pendel and Blair. And man, I think there's going to be about a 1.5 seconds difference between these 2 packs now.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you though, you know, for the 99, just took that fast repair. There is nothing that'll make you need a change of the fire suit quicker than just getting your fast repair, coming out in a couple laps, having to hold on to a car like that. That was a great save by the 99. Prevent anything bad from happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what was a 3 car, and that was Blair Truth and Corey. It looks like everybody else behind them was able to catch up, but I do believe that's going to put Dennis, again, missing all of the draft, even from both of these packs. So he's going to get gobbled up even quicker now. And we're going to keep an eye on the 2 packs. You can see that lead between pack 1 and pack 2 now about a 1.5 seconds. So if you're Andrew, you're probably over the column saying, hey guys, let's just stay stacked up here and see if we can sneak away. That's what's really going to help us when we get ready to come down pit road.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, having these two packs of cars is going to make it just a little bit easier coming down for a green flag pit stop, where you only have 6, 7 cars versus 15, 16 cars all trying to come down pit road at the same time, especially with this very tricky pit road.
Yeah, what was 1.5 though, now down to 1.4. So that second pack looks to be about a 10th quicker than what this front pack is. So the front pack is going to have to get nose to tail because that big pack behind them is really looming. Now again, I'm very curious to see how this is going to work for us with this new physics model.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, it looks like we're seeing the 25 there, Shaw, kind of getting he's either getting tight through the corners or he's trying to run a different line because of tire issues. But we kept seeing him through the corners running that middle line like what we saw earlier out of Dale in the 9 car. So that could be what's kind of somewhat slowing this front pack down and allowing that second group to get right back up there.
Man, and it has caught back up in a big way. Now, I want to see this. It's going to be very interesting because Blair is going to catch this backpack, and they are going to have a head full of steam. And what I mean is, let me see if I can get a dashboard going on here because right now Blair is at 186 through the turn, 184. And it looks like Pendel's about the same, but my goodness, here he comes. They have now caught up. It looks like DPV is going to try to throw a block. He's going to get that block done. That is going to slow down Blair. Truth right behind him checking up. So not a whole lot of fireworks as it looks like the second group has caught back up. And they're kind of content here just to ride nose to tail.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting Dale to kind of jump up there and and halt that run because had he not done that, that 32 could have taken that entire line to the outside and potentially made a run to the front here.
Yep, now Pendel stuck on that outside. He's going to squeeze himself right back in, so he's going to allow that pass to happen, get back in, just enough room there in front of Blair. And it looks like Pendel now starting to struggle, trying to keep that car down, as is Kinsley coming through that tryover.
Be really interesting to see how many more laps here before these guys start ducking off, make a green flag pit stop. I mean, they came down at lap 30, 31, and we're, approaching lap 57, I believe, since that pit stop. And, so I'm anticipating any time now, so we're going to have to keep an eye out.
88 laps in the book. We have plenty of racing to go. A lot more fireworks to go as well. As now Dell way up top, entering almost against that outside retaining wall and starting to swing down and really use a diamond. Now he's right behind Kinsley, and they had a bit of a moment while they were getting by Dennis. So it's going to be interesting to see once he catches back up if he's going to try to make a move where he's going to ride right behind Kinsley.
Yeah, I think right now it's kind of just right around, because I mean, that these green flag pit stops are coming. There is no way that I would want to be anywhere near those guys trying to come down pit road, because if somebody gets into 3 too hot down there on the apron and shoots it up the track, we see them breaking off.
Now what's going to happen right here is the big telltale. Everybody getting in there nice and smooth. That is Prince, Gates, and Smith all coming down pit road now. This is lap 91. Oh, Kinsley loose, able to woe it down and get it straightened back up, but I don't think this is going to get them to the end.
No, let me see. I think we're figuring at about 56 laps.
Yeah,
out the draft.
Oh, they're losing. There goes the 25 of Paul.
That's what we were talking about, getting into turn 3 a little too hot. He's still fighting it.
Oh, get that thing woe down and back over. I don't believe that's going to give him a penalty.
It shouldn't. It was a nice save.
Yeah, that is just going to put him so far behind now. So that's going to turn this lead over to Pindell. Now, if these drivers can make it about, I would say, 5 to 7 laps here, Russ, and I don't know if they can. Now, Andrew had to lead a lot of laps. That obviously makes you burn more fuel. All of these drivers have been in the back, maybe running 3/4 throttle. So if they can squeeze out another few laps, this might come down to a fuel mileage race. Again, 56 laps without draft. Inside of a draft, it makes a huge difference on these cars and being able to save fuel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do the math in my head right now. And I'm thinking if these guys can stay out for about another maybe 3 or 4 laps, that might be able to push them to the end if they were able to stay back in the draft and save fuel. They may be able to make it here, but those ones that just came in, they might have a hard time. They may have to really try to save fuel to make it to the end.
You're right, and they are broken up as well. So you can see now Alex Gates is going to be able to snag onto the back end of these drivers. But here comes that 25 there of Paul. Man, what a good run he had going to really struggle there getting down that pit road. It looks like Howard is now coming out of the pits after his pit stop is done. I do not show anyone else down pit road, folks. So here they come. Here's Pindell. It looks like this is the rest of them. Corey is going to be able to stay out. So is Joshua Neal. Kirby Wainscott able to stay out as well. So they're making it another
sideways back. 2 of them sideways coming into pit road, going through the grass.
Oh, I did not see who that was. Was that Cody Benelli and Brian LaPratt?
Cody. Yep. They both got right into turn 3 way too hot.
Oh, Cody's definitely got both of them tandem synchronized spinning. Oh, Cody, nice job just standing on it right there and getting it to loop around. Now, those right side tires were over and past that commitment line, so very interested to see if he is going to have to serve a penalty or not. Man, Kirby Wainscott still out here on track. He is your leader, and he is sandwiched between 2 drivers. Now, here he comes. He's coming down pit road, but now he is going to pass that start-finish line at lap 98. So he's going to have to make that, 59 laps?
Yeah, I mean, he should be good to the end. But like we said, 56 without the draft, 60 to maybe 65 in the draft. So if he can save fuel, stay in the draft, and not out front, he might be in a really good spot to make it to the end.
He might be in a very good spot. And I can tell you some of these drivers are going to stay out, and they'll just let this. Oh, now that's going to be loose right in the center. What a race here. Michael Prince having to go 3 wide to avoid Pendel. Now the 54 is going to squeeze up just a little bit, try to give Pendel some draft, but I believe he's going to be able to tag on to the back of Andrew Teft. All right, so we're going to reset this. It got hairy as these drivers having to come down pit road. Now, Corey and Joshua Neal have a small little breakaway. Prince is going to be able to absorb that really quickly. As now here comes that big run that he's got Kinsley Smith there with him. He's going to go this entire line looking to go Truth Hoka to the outside. I don't believe they're going to be able to make that train work behind him. Again, this draft is different than what it used to be. One driver with momentum might make it. Now he's going to go 3. Kinsley to the outside. He's in the wall. 54 in the wall.
Got some action going on right now.
2 by 2 in this
laps.
lead pack. Yeah, 57 laps to go, Russ. This is not over. This race is far from over. As now Prince trying to find a way in. He's not going to be able to do it. Blair is going to slam the door on him. Kinsley able to slide in there and find him a good spot. Now he was able to find his way in. Corey going to the outside along with the 92. He might be begging some drivers to pass him to try to save a bit of fuel. Now, Corey come down a few laps later than most of the drivers in this pack. So he might be trying to get past so that he can get there and save fuel.
Could very well be. I mean, and we're also, we've gone through that transition of day to night where, we're still working that, but that's what we saw Friday night was, as the race progressed, we got a little further into the night, the outside line started to work in a little bit more. So maybe he, at some point is trying to see what this outside could potentially do, but it looks like everybody else just wants to ride the bottom right now.
Yeah, and it looks like that pace has slowed down quite a bit. We are now running 30.65s. We were running about 30.2s. So that pace about 4/10 a lap slower than what it has been. So I'm not sure if Blair might be sitting there on 3/4 throttle saying, listen, this is as fast as I'm going to go. As you see him now, just exiting that turn at about 177 mile an hour. So I don't think he wants to burn that fuel as well. So this is going to come down to a chess match, I do believe, because everybody's setting themselves up here now with 54 laps remaining. Everybody trying to jockey for position and get themselves to the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it seems like nobody wants to be leading this race.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think they don't want to lead it because you can see still 177 mile an hour. Earlier, we saw those drivers at about 186. You don't see a lot of moves happening either.
Yeah, everybody might be into an agreed fuel conservation mode at this point to try to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, I will tell you, this is one of those drivers that we thought was going to be able to make it. Now, he was the last one to pit. He is in this Benelli led pack here of Dunaway, Gates. It looks like Shaw is in this pack. Dennis Kane in this pack. DPV is in this pack. Cody not wanting to lead, allowing Sean to go around.
Yeah, that was probably the best thing to happen for Kirby right there was, let this pack by, sneak in behind him, and ride this thing to the end because you were the last one on pit road. You're going to have the most fuel. If these guys start running out with, a lap or two to go, that could put you into a prime spot.
That's right. And it doesn't matter how far back you are from this lead pack. If you're back there with enough fuel and this entire lead pack has got to come down and pit, you are certainly going to be able to make that pass. Now, it does look like Blair, who had that overall pace way down, now deciding to fall back again. He's about 3rd or 4th in this line here as these drivers coming up on these lap cars trying to navigate their way through it. And now you've got Andrew Teff back out in front. He led the bulk of that long green flag run before they come down pit road. Now back in front, and he's going to slide way up here, and I think he wants to give this lead up as quickly as he can.
Yeah, everybody's just going to lead a lap and then surrender it. Then lead a lap and surrender it. It's going to be like you said, it's going to be a chess match for the next 50 laps of this race to get to the checker flag.
Yeah, it looks like Prince now taking that bottom line and pushing forward. Kinsley Smith there right behind him. Blair has stuck himself back into third. Truth Hope now in fourth. Andrew again falling all the way back. Kinsley with a big run. Kinsley may be trying to find his way back further in this pack. Now Prince giving it back up. Now the odd man out is Blair Holloman again. He was the one that they pushed to the front in the first beginning of this stint. Now he's back out front.
I'm saying, no. You go ahead and take it back. We don't want it. You can have it.
Yeah, and what are you supposed to do if you're sitting there on the bottom? If you're Truth Hope, you've got to know you are next man up right here. It will not be long before Blair takes that high line on the entry of this turn. And now all of a sudden you are the one that is what we call the fuel pig. You are the one that is out front, sucking up all of that air. And man, this looks like it has really went down in pace. Yeah, we're down to 170 now in the middle of these turns.
About 15 miles an hour slower than what they were running at the beginning of the race.
We're not breaking 80 down the street. Yeah, they have really slowed us down, Russ. We're not even cracking 80 down the straightaways now.
Yeah, they are definitely in fuel conservation mode, and it's going to be interesting to see how long each of these guys are going to be able to last out there.
Now, it does look like Corey and the 82, they've decided to hit the gas pedal. And what's going to happen is if you have somebody that's close or a team that says to heck with it, we're just going to push on through. We don't care where you're at. And they get a big lead. It's going to force people like Blair and Truth and Pendel, Prince back there. It's going to force them to hit the throttle and catch up. Let's see if we can get a hold of Corey and take a look at his speed. And there you go. There's more like the pace that you're used to seeing, about 175, 76 through these turns.
Yeah, that may be a smart strategy if you can find somebody that's willing to go with you, and you can get like a 2-car breakaway and gain 5 or 6 second lead out there. Then you can back it down and force those drivers to really push to try to catch up to you. If you can be able to save enough fuel being out front like that after you get that big lead, but doesn't look like Blair's letting them get away though.
No, I don't think that Blair has a choice, and I don't believe that he wants to lose those two. Now we're going to keep an eye on that second pack. That second pack right now, I believe, is being led by Sean, and they're about 3.5 to 3.7 seconds behind this lead pack. So I just want to see what kind of mode they're in. Are they in saving mode or go mode? And it looks like Sean's last lap is a 30.6 we are back on pace now at a 30.2 here for Corey. So it looks like they're losing about 0.4 a lap to this lead pack.
Yeah, they got a in the back there.
Michael Prince around. Let's see if we can go back and take a look at what has happened here.
Second pack came into that. Nobody got into it, though.
Let's go back and take a look, see what happened. Oh, that's in front of these drivers. Oh, let's see. What happened? Was that Eric, maybe? All right, let's go back and take a look. No, that's the 45. Let's see if we can find the 45 here on the relative and go back and see what Prince, there he is. Let's see if we can find out what happened to him. Russ, it looks like he is right behind Pendel. It looks like maybe a double push there. He is on the outside, the 54 underneath, and it looks like he's going to try to squeeze down. He does squeeze down. Oh, and it just maybe not enough room. 54 did not burp the throttle. That got the 45 loose. He's going to come down, get onto that apron. Kinsley Smith with some pretty big front end damage that you can see there. Andrew Teff trying to find his way around. He's going to get loose. 76 blinks back into the wreck. Oh, heavy damage with the 76 and the 54.
Well, I can tell you one thing, John. This caution has changed the entire complexity of this race, because now drivers can come down pit road and 100% be able to make it to the end of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of that fuel strategy is now out the window. These drivers are going to come down, get these pit stops completed. A couple of drivers deciding not to. Sean Dunaway's already been down pit road. He is there now. It looks like Rick Webb and maybe Dennis Kane getting some damage repaired. These drivers might have been so close here, Russ, that that's all they needed was just one set of cautions, and then they can have themselves right back here with plenty of fuel to go. Now, you got to make sure that you have enough for a couple of green-white checkers just to be on the safe side. You never know what's going to happen here, but it looks like the majority of these drivers choosing to stay out, not go down and get any fuel.
Yeah, it's really kind of surprising, because, I mean, we've got 40 laps to go. Come down, get a splash, top that thing off, make sure you can make it to the end. I mean, I'm not so sure that the track position and not coming down pit road is going to be a very smart strategy at the end of this. But we've seen stranger things, buddy.
Yeah, and that's Corey and Josh. Now the rest of the drivers, and it's going to start back with Blair. I do show them coming in, under that caution. But now it looks like Corey and Josh, they have decided to stay out. They have a strategy here that they've got figured out, Russ, and this is what they want to do. They wanted to be in this position. They come down at lap 96, so they know that they can make this thing to the end, or I would assume they would have tried to come down. But everybody back behind them, I think it is going to be wide open from here on out. 40 laps to go. This thing is fixing to get wild.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see fireworks in the next 40 laps.
All right, so here we go. Pace car bringing them down. It has been a nice, quiet little race, but, man, that is the calm before the storm, as these drivers now are going to start to jockey for position as they see that pace car coming down. Corey's going to bring them back. Now, if they are working together and they're in that chat together, they are going to time this start just right. Both of these drivers out front, and they do. Great jump by Corey. Man, Blair got a fantastic jump.
Yeah, I was going to say, the 82 not able to clear Blair there and be able to get down to the bottom with Corey. So I'm going to let Blair get up there to P2.
Blair all over the back end. Pindell now is going to be in third. The 82 is stuck on the outside. Truth stuck out there with him. Cody Bonelli, I seen, is out there. So that line getting steamrolled. Kirby Wainscott's out there. Oh, another big wreck. Sean Dunaway, Cody Bonelli. Oh, and there is the caution. Let's go back and see what happened here.
Let the fireworks begin.
Man, here we go. And let's see what has happened. Now, Sean Dunaway is in that pink Hello Kitty. Looks like maybe Prince is underneath the Sean. Sean doesn't know it. He's going to turn himself right off of the front end. And, oh, my goodness, what a hit to Cody. Oh, wide open, about 180 mile an hour. He's going to get loose. Now, Kirby's going to come down, catch the 101. Man. 101 with big, heavy damage. You can see him there on the bottom right-hand side of that screen. Now you see Corey. He's going to come down and get that fuel, which you would think if you didn't come down before, Russ, why would you come down now? If you thought you could make it before, You know, are you trying to get tires here because you think that's going to matter?
That would be the only reason that I can think of is, potentially for the tires. But I mean, we only had what 3 or 4 laps right there. So I mean, I'm not sure if 3 or 4 lap fresher tires is going to make too big of a difference here in Atlanta. But as I said before, we've seen stranger things happen.
Sure we have. Yeah, and we do have several drivers down pit road. Now, that's going to be the majority of your cars that have damage. Just look at them come down pit road. Cody Benelli doesn't even have a right front fender on him. The 101, his right now, he's going to take his fast repair. I believe Cody has already taken his from an earlier accident. Kirby Wayne Scott is down. The 82 machine is down. As you can see him start to filter out now. That is going to turn this thing back over to Blair, and Pindell is going to be to his outside. Andrew Teft down to the inside, and then Alex Gates is going to be right behind Pindell. So here you go, your top 4 drivers, series racers here at Racers Elite, and then you've got Smith right behind them. So some very familiar faces here at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. We see these guys week in, week out, running on Thursday nights, running on Tuesdays. I mean, they're your everyday. I mean, you look at, you've seen Friday night, Andrew Teft, Blair, and Alex Gates in the 77, all, 3 of the 4 top drivers that were still on the lead lap come the end of that race. So they obviously took their notes from Friday night, brought them into the night because they find themselves right back up front again here tonight.
Yeah, and it does look like they're going to get themselves lined back up. Now, we're going to have about 34 laps to go as those lights are going to go out on the pace car for this race. So we're going to stack these guys back up. Remember, this is a chartered event, and there are going to be points. So there are some implications here by just making yourself get a good quality finish. But we've got a lot of drivers tonight that are extremely hungry. It looks like Sean Dunaway was able to take a fast repairs. I see that that pink car there in the background looking nice and clean. A couple of these other drivers like Wayne Scott and some of those other drivers do not have a fast repair left. So they are running on borrowed time here.
Yeah, the 19 looks like has decided to take his car back to the hauler for the night. Looks like he is done.
Yeah, he is in the chat right now just saying, "Whoop, yeah, Cody, that is a bad break. That is Friday night and tonight, just in a wrong place at the wrong time there." And that does happen. That's what racing and iRacing is about.
Absolutely, we've all been there. We've all had those nights. Some more than others, like myself.
Yes, they do happen, whether you like it or not. All right, so here we go. Looks like Blair Holloman has chosen the outside as his starting line here. That's going to put Pindell down at that bottom line. I think he's going to try to jump him and then squeeze himself down. Let's see what happens, as now we're going to have that green flag right in front of our faces with Blair Holloman bringing those drivers down. And there he goes. He is going to fire off now, get a fantastic run. Let's see if he's going to swing right down in front of Pindell. He is definitely going to do that. That is going to leave Alex Gates there to the outside by himself. The 25 car is there, but a long way away. Now Alex is going to slot right into that 4th position in front of Kinsley. So you've got Holloman, Pindell, Teft, Gates, and Smith, all your top 5 with Truth Hope there right behind those drivers.
Bottom line is showing to be the dominant line again. Everybody wanting to get down to that bottom. I mean, we're closing in on 30 laps to go here in this race. At some point, somebody's going to have to try to start making a move and try to make a second line work if they want a shot at winning.
Yeah, I don't think pushing along is going to help you. Let's see if we can go on board. You're going to have to make a run and try to get out front. I think clean air is going to be your friend here when you're coming down to the end. You can see just burping the throttle a little bit to give him some turn. And he got back on that throttle so quick, Russ, it actually caused a little push there about halfway through that turn. But again, just a little burp, just to get some rotation. Car turning really well. Now he's going to be right on the back end, pushing down the straightaway.
something we haven't really seen a lot of here in Atlanta the last 2 nights that we've called these races, is pushing down the straightaways.
Yeah. Yeah, what you want to do, folks, one of the things that, especially on this next gen, you can see that runner right in our vision there, and you can see on Blair's car, right beside that Chevrolet emblem, over there to the left, that's where that camera is. And what you want to do is try to line up that bar, just like Findell did right there, and you want to hit that camera. That is a square push on a next gen. If you get over to the right or the left, you're actually going to get that driver just a little bit loose. So you want to nail right where that camera is, and Chris is going to take a short way around that track because he's going to cut that that trioval there.
Yeah, like you said, the square hits with these cars is really, really important, and that's the one thing we've noticed, especially here in Atlanta. If you get off, even on the straightaways, if you go get you're going to go bump that car in front of you and you're off center, it can get that car really out of shape really quick.
Yeah, it just takes one little bad bump, and that will turn that driver right into the wall. As you can see that Dale now in that 9 machine trying to make some moves as he's going to squeeze right in front of the 45. I got to tell you, there are some moves being made. This driver here, this 9 machine, very, very impatient. He is wanting to get to the front, and if you're going to go, you got to go now.
Yeah,
he's now going to work his way on the outside here.
Yeah, I'll say just under 30 laps to go here, and it's time to start dancing and trying to figure out what you can do and where you can do it. Running out of time.
Yeah, you can see that Dell really trying to use that side draft. It's just non-existent anymore, and if you don't have a great run where you can clear that car in front of you, you're going to get steamrolled, and the 9, I believe, is going to find that out right here. If you're not going to get underneath of them and you've got a stack of cars, you're just going to lose one spot after another, and that looks like to be what's going to happen to him. You've got enough momentum, Russ, I think, to make one pass.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's basically like a one and done, and you got to get back in line. I mean, like you said earlier, the side draft now is almost non-existent. It used to be you could pull out, and side draft and really hold on to your spot on that outside line. Now with this update, you cannot do that. If you're going to jump out, you need to jump out, make a move, get back in line.
Now they are holding strong, and they've got company here. They have a whole line of cars. Now Alex Gates he's decided to sneak out there and get in front. He wants a piece of this action. He is on the outside now. Dellin at 9 pushing hard. Nice square pushes here on that 77. Now Smith is on the outside.
Yeah, they decided to finally make a move and see if they can get a second line formed up and moving here, try to get their way up front for the end of this thing.
Truth Oak says, thank you very much, drivers, as I have now picked up 3 positions by everybody trying to swing out and get this thing done. That brings him back up to 4th position. Kinsley Smith is on the outside there with the 77 behind him, the 9 behind them, trying to get this outside line to move, and it is working so far as now Kinsley is all the way up to that 2nd spot. Oh, now we're going to go 3 wide. Now the 9 machine trying to poke his head in there, and he's going to make that work. He is 3 wide. 77 now going to get kicked to the back.
Here's me coming through.
He made that work, and that is how you get a pass done here at a draft track. Now what that has done is it has killed the momentum of that top line. So if these drivers wanted to get up there and run for that win, I'm not sure that pass was the right one to make at that moment. Here they come. Kinsley getting pushed by that 9 machine. It looks like he is pushing all the way through those turns. Let's see if we can get on board with Dell and take a look.
They're sending Kinsley off into the corner.
They are level there, even with the 3rd place car. Man, you can hear the tires screaming on Dell's car coming through that trioval. He's had to put a lot of will in it to keep it there on the outside. Dell says, we'll push to the center. He's going to turn Kinsley. And there is a big one, folks. Oh, my goodness.
That is not how you want to do that. I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, pushing through the center is never a good idea. And then he got right on the quarter panel of Kinsley. And, man, we are just going to try to count the drivers that are going to be in this wreck. And let's see if I can go. We're going to try something a little bit different here. And see if we can maybe get, let's see if we can do this through this level right here. So let's take a look. So there is the 9. He is going to get over to a bad push. That is a tough push there on Kinsley. That is now going to move Kinsley down, and he is going to miss. Oh, he's going to get right into the 99. Here comes Sean. Kinsley's back up the track. He's going to get nailed by the 82. And Alex Gates is going to get into that mess. Oh, big hit by Alex. 25's coming down. Corey in the 20s there. Oh, man, I do. But look at the right rear tire of Alex in that 77. It is gone. I believe Sean's car might be okay, but, man, there is some calamity here. So we're going to have to take inventory because we have a lot of drivers down pit road. And here they come. Oh, Corey, look at him just dog walking down the straightaway. Hopefully he's got a fast repair, but that car is not going down that straightaway very well. Alex is going to have to get repairs done. Let's see what Corey's got. Does he have a fast? He does have a fast repair. He is going to be okay. Dunaway, I don't think had a lot of damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be really interesting to see how many guys still have their fast repairs because a lot of these guys have been involved in something or multiple somethings so far this race. So this could really hurt a lot of these guys.
Kinsley Smith, I think, is going to be okay, Russ. His car looks good. Alex, I think, is just going to be destroyed. The 82 car looks good coming out. It looks like Kinsley tried to change left sides twice, maybe. Sean's still in the pits. Kirby Wainscott coming out. I just don't think the 77 is going to get back in action. If he didn't have a fast repair, Russ, it's smoking. I just don't think that's going to make it.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And it looks like the 101 has also decided to load her up for the night. Too much damage and already used the fast repair.
20 laps to go.
Starting to thin the herd here, John.
Yeah, it has been dynamic. We now have 4 drivers still down pit lane. We've got a few drivers that have decided to leave, and that's going to be the 101 and the 43 machine. On the lead lap, it looks like we have 13 cars now on the lead lap. I don't think Alex is going to be able to ring the bell here. I just don't think he can make that work.
Yeah, it looks like, you're right. Anytime you got smoke rolling out from under that hood, it's usually no more than, or no less than about 45 minutes worth of repairs.
Man, it is not a good thing. It looks like Kirby Wainscott is back in action now. We got the 99 machine coming back out. That's Dennis Kane. He's going to survive. Paid in there saying, what a race. It certainly is. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as we have enjoyed calling it. 20 laps to go. Man, we were talking about Truth Hoke a little bit earlier at the beginning of this race where he had fallen off of that lead pack. And now look at that guy. He is right back in this thing. And here we go. One more time. Blair Hallman's going to bring them back down. Pindell still your second place. Andrew Teft is there with Hoke. And there is your green flag. It is in the air. Blair is going to do the same thing he did before, which is a great jump. Get down there to the bottom line. He's going to drag Truth with him just a little. Truth better filter himself right back into this 45 behind them, and he's going to be able to do that. Now 19 to go.
So looks like everybody trying to get right back down to the bottom, except for Truth. Truth's looking to try to make a move all by himself up there.
Truth had a good run, and he is going to be there. He is going to be on the outside of the 45. DPV decides to come back On the outside again, and it looks like Andrew running that high line, trying to get a run off the 25 machine, not one of your lap cars. He's going to be on the outside. $18 laps to go. Truth falling all the way back. He started fourth. That line is not going to move. He now has that 9 car behind him, and he is going to be pushing him. You can guarantee that.
Yeah, I was just watching them guys there in the last set of quarters, and it looks like Dale didn't learn his lesson. He gave Truth a couple of really good shots right through the center of the corner, and you know, kind of pushed him up out of line. It looks like, man, Dale really wants to go.
Yeah, he is hungry for this win. Always stay aggressive. Blair in a good position here. Chris starting to look to his outside. Now, this is one of those things that you got to know. If you can get, so he needs to back off of Blair just a little bit. If he can do that, Russ, about half the car, maybe a car, and then just get that run, he can do this pass without having help. So this new model, he can make this thing, but he's going to have to slingshot around him, and he's not going to do that right on his bumper. He needs to back up just a little bit and get that run, and then he can do that all on his own.
Yeah, like I said, you know, this new model, it makes things look a little bit different, and you know, for sure you can get a pass done on your own. We saw that happen earlier on when we were questioning some of the moves, but you know, yeah, like you said, you know, kind of back off, trail break just a little bit, give yourself a little bit of distance, and then catch that draft, give yourself a run, do a Ricky Bobby Cal Naughton Jr. and just slingshot your way right around them.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do, and you can do that if you are sitting back where Pindell is. I don't believe if you're Teft, you can make that move unless you have help with the 45. But if you're the 94, you can definitely get that moved on being solo, because you only have to pass 1 car. Teft would have to pass 2. 45 would have to pass 3. So I think in being a second, that might be a possibility. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I just think you're going to either have to have help or something's going to have to happen in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, those guys behind out, you know, for Andrew Teft, you know, any of them guys got to want to do it. They're going to have to, you know, do it one spot at a time. You know, go up, make your pass, but you got to make sure you get back down. So if not, you're going straight to the back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you get hung on the outside, that is a death sentence for you. Oh, now we get a little bump over there. We've got another big wreck.
Oh, Kirby Wayne's upside down.
Oh, and there is another caution. We're going to go to Kirby. Let's see what has happened now. And let's see if we can ride on board with the gentleman that decided to go upside down. And he just gets turned. There's the hit. Oh, and we are on board with him. The hood is flipped up, and he is tumbling. 1 roll, 2 rolls. Oh, my goodness. He is on top of another car. He's on the fence.
Going for a wild ride. My goodness.
Let's go back and take a look at that one more time. Look, he is up on the wall. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what a major hit. So many cars involved in that. Dunaway, the 9 car. Kirby's on top of the 9. Wow, Russ, what an accident. Let's see if we can go back one more time, and I want to find out how this wreck started. Yeah, just some bad pushing there.
As I say, yeah, it looked like the 76 got loose, came down, and got into Kirby there.
Yeah, let's hop on with the 76. Yeah.
If you got a bad bump,
Bad
it looks
push.
like
That might be by the
push
9
from Dale
again.
again. Yep. Looks like he got to that corner and just set him left.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, he got right on that left rear quarter panel and just hooked him. Yep, another tough push. Oh yeah, and then everybody just went crazy from there. Woo. Okay, we got to take a breath. Now we have 11 to go, and we have more calamity. The 9 cars on pit road. Dennis Kane on pit road. Sean Dunaway is in the pits. Kirby is in the pits. We've got the 101, the 19, and the 43. They are out of this thing. I believe Alex Gates is going to call that a night, too. It still shows him there, but he's probably just sitting in the pits.
Yeah, Kirby Waste got that 10. I don't think he's going to be able to get back out there either, because I'm pretty sure he used his fast repair earlier on. So
I'll tell you.
Taking that wild ride down the fence, man, I don't think he's coming back. He might be taking that trip to the infield care center.
Yeah, he's they might have life-flighted Kirby out of this place, because it is never good to be upside down into the catch fence. All right, so here we go. We're going to line this thing back up. We're going to be 10 to go. And you can see right now, it looks like we still have 12 cars, believe it or not, 12 cars that are still on the lead lap here.
Well, you know, Friday night, you know, we saw the fireworks early out of the race. Tonight, we're seeing them later out in the race. I'm sure we're not done yet, Joe.
We are not done yet. We have 10 to go. There are still moves to be made up front. I think everybody was sitting back. They were relaxed, kind of waiting for the end of this thing. But like you said, I think it is going to get crazy here. All right, here we go. Blair is going to bring them down one more time. He is hoping he's going to do the same thing that he has done several times before, which is get that jump early and often. And there he goes. He's going to get that in front of Pendel, and he's going to sweep himself right down in front of him just like that. Now, 45 with a really nice jump. I don't think he's going to tuck right into third, leave Kinsley out to dry. Truth has now worked his way back up, but they're going to be stuck on that outside. Oh, another wreck there. Kirby sideways. He is on the inside wall.
So I guess Kirby did have his fast repair. He must be fairly healthy to be back out there.
Let's see what happened to Kirby now as we go caution again. 25 going to get tight, or is Kirby going to get loose here? Oh, Kirby's loose. Comes down. Yeah, Kirby just gets loose on the exit there. Comes down right in front of the 25. Nowhere to go. And loops that thing around. He did have a fast repair. He might still be a little concussed there, Russ, from that earlier accident.
Yeah, I mean, at least those roof flaps came up and provided, you know, prevented him from taking a second wild ride, because the way that car snapped, you normally see the rear ends lift up on those cars instead of tumbling. So good thing that those roof flaps did their jobs.
Yeah. All
Wouldn't
right.
want him to take two bad tumbles in one night.
Yeah, it looks like Dunaway's going to come down and get some more damage repaired. Now, I would expect a couple of people to do that, too. The 9 car is down. They're getting some damage repaired as well. Kirby's going to keep this thing alive. Oh, and Kirby's going to wreck again. Let's see if we can go back. We're going to go live. Oh, he's going to jump to the pits. Russ, I think he caught up to that pack too quick. He caught up to the pack. Now, look at that left front tire. That left tire, I think, is damaged here. See how it's turned way in? I believe he's got a broken toe leak, and he's going to come down and try to catch up, and this car is just going to snap right on him.
Yeah, you got to get out of the brakes hard there, and it's just going to snap.
Right into the fence. I think that is going to do it for Kirby. Yeah, you can see he is no longer on our relative. All right, let's see if we can get ourselves back live now.
Man, tough end of the night for Kirby.
Yeah, he had a good run going. He had a really good run on a Friday. I thought he had one of the faster cars here Friday night as well. So he definitely knows how to get around this place. Just, man, you can run these races 100 times and get 100 different outcomes.
Yeah, that's the perks to speedway pack racing.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to reset this thing. We still have the lights on, so that means we're going to go back green with about 5 laps to go. Maybe 6 to go if the lights go out here. Looks like Dale is still down pit road. Kirby, he is out. Dunaway is now going to be out of pit road. He's going to be back on the track. We don't have anyone else in the pits now, so lights are out on this pace car. We are going to stack these drivers back up. Let's run down your top 10 here. That's going to be Holloman, Pindell, Teft, Prince, Smith, Neal, Hoke, Webb, Kane, and Corey is going to round out your top 10. Pretty nice comeback there by Dennis Kane. That thing was just beat, the front end of that thing, and he had lost the draft, so really nice comeback by him. Corey has been up and down all night long, so I believe that was our pole sitter there earlier, so good run by him so far. And now you got that 9 machine there, Russ. He is in 11th.
Yeah, all the stuff that he's been caught up in, and he is still not out of it yet.
Sean Dunaway is going to be in 12th, and then everybody else from 13 back is going to be at least a lap down. All right, so here we go. One more time. Hopefully, we are going to go green to the checkered flag here. We are going to bring this sucker to 5 to go once we cross that start-finish line. There we go. Really nice jump by Blair. I believe that was timed perfectly on the outside there by Andrew. Andrew might be able to clear Pindell in that 94, but I believe he's getting a great push by the 45. Kinsley's on that outside with Andrew. Man, this is a 5-car breakaway here. 5 laps to go. Kinsley is going to leave Andrew out to dry. Now it looks like Andrew is going to be by himself. He's going to start falling back. Truth Hope trying to catch up there. 99 trying to come with him. Man, that bottom line, Russ, is just so dominant.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are, 4 to go, and they're trying to make something work, but it just does not look like that outside line wants to do much tonight. We saw it happen Friday night. The outside came in late, but it does not seem like that wants to happen tonight.
Yeah, that track is just staying cool enough, Russ, where I just don't think there's enough rubber up there, not enough heat in that track to really make that top line work, and that is going to push all of those drivers back. Andrew's going to take another peek around. I don't think that is going to work. I'm not sure what the 94's plan is well, the 99 is going to get way high. We got some movement in the back. Everybody hangs on.
Now back there in second, he is looking for us for just a chance. A little bit of daylight on the bottom side here. Trying to snag the spot and win this race here. Coming to 2 to go. He is looking for any kind of sign he can stick his nose in.
Yeah, he's going to have to back off of that lead car and get a run like he's got right now, but he can't just push. He's going to have to take that run on the exit of a turn because he's going to want to clear him before the entry. So what he's going to want to do is here. Now, this is the perfect time. If he gets a great run and push, this is where you want to go, and you want to go now, and he's going to stay behind him right there, Russ.
Gonna have to make the move soon. I mean, I don't think this could be a last lap pass. I mean, unless he gets a heck of a run going into turn 3 and is able to get up there and make that pass coming out of 4, I don't know if it's gonna happen. We're on the white flag. We got 1 to go.
White flag to go. He needs to have that 45 behind him. He's going to stay so close to Blair. He's going to help Blair get ahead. Oh, we're wrecking in the back. It doesn't matter. We are going to the checkers. That is the 77. I can't tell who that is behind him. 45 now. He laid back enough. Kinsley Smith is going to push him. He's at least going to get second. Now they're going to touch here through the tri-oval. Blair Holloman is going to take your lead. 45 is going to get second place, and Pindell is going to wind up on the podium in 3rd position. I just think the 45 pulled the move that the 94 should have a lap before that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I didn't think it was going to be something that you could do on that last lap. You had to do it that lap before and then be able to, to try to defend. I mean, those passes, setting them up just takes time, and doing it on the last lap does not provide you enough time to do that. Great win by Blair Holloman, though.
Great win, found himself in the right place at the right time, was able to hold off the drivers behind him, and he is going to burn that thing down. And we are going to hide this here, folks. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And let's see if we can go to your official results. We're going to show that to you now. Blair Holloman coming home as your winner. Let's see if we can scroll up to the top of that thing. And it doesn't want to move for us. There it goes. Blair Holloman is going to be your winner. And you've got Prince coming home in second. And then Pendel is going to round out your top three. Kinsley and Joshua Neal. A great comeback by Joshua Neal there is going to round out your top five. And as you can see, everybody else out there looked like we had about 12 drivers that wound up on the lead lap. Andrew, that started about fourth on that restart, that last start. Russ falling all the way back to 10th.
Yeah, Dennis, he kind of had that rough night. He was able to bring it back on 11th, but, that last lap, we saw Truth Oak. He was running up there, about P4, and he was the other one that was caught up with Alex Gates there on that last lap crash. And, man, tough night for Truth and Alex both.
Yeah, it really was a tough night, but we're going to see if we can get some of our drivers in here, and let's see if we can find Mr. Pendel. Let's see if he's going to be in here. We're going to give him a opportunity to get some pictures, and let's see if we can find him here. It looks like we do have Pendel. We're going to bring him here into the waiting room, into the booth. Chris, it's John and Russ here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, guys, how are you?
Good, man. So we're going to talk about those last couple of laps, man. It looked like, this, obviously the model, the physics model is a lot different on this next-gen car. Really wanted to see what you were going to be able to cook up. What went through your mind there at the end? And if you had a move in your pocket, what did you think that was going to be?
Well, I was actually in chat with Blair there, and I told him I'd stay with him for sure till the last lap. And then going into turn one, I lost him a little bit. And then I could tell in the back in the mirror that the guys behind me were laying back. So that kind of hurt our advantage there because I wasn't able to stay locked on there with him. But I was going to try to make a move going into three probably on him if I had a little bit of help behind me. But once I realized these guys were laying back, I knew that there wasn't nothing I could have done. Because, if I'd have pulled up to the outside to go around them, they would have just freight trained me. So my mindset was just to stay on the bottom with them and hopefully get a decent finish. Man, that's fun. I haven't had fun in a super speedway race in a long time. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that finish there. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And, if that was the decision that you and Blair made, that was certainly smart by you by just staying connected to him because you were able to bring home a podium finish here at a tricky track. And like you said, it certainly runs a lot different here with that physics model. And you were able to conquer that tonight, man. So fantastic job here bringing that home in third. And we'll turn it over to you and let you give your shout outs.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for broadcasting. I'm going to go back and watch the race. After this, I appreciate Andrew and Racers Elite. I enjoy racing with these guys. I appreciate you putting on these money races. Thanks to Misfits, and Deep Racing, my guys over there, and, Misfits over there at Troy and Truth and all those guys that let me join them this season. I enjoy being in chat with those guys, and I enjoy every bit of bit of this league. And thank you everybody that races and watches. I appreciate it. And man, I'm already looking forward to the next league. I think next one's Indianapolis, and if that's the case, I love Indianapolis. I've never raced here in the next gen, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it was a great race. So congratulations on bringing home a podium finish here at Atlanta under the lights. Fantastic jobs, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, so there is your third place driver. And Russ, I will pull in Mr. Prince, and then I will let you have the interview with our race winner. So let me see if I can pull Mr. Prince in here to the booth. Michael, this is John and Russ here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, it was an up and down night for you. I see a lot of, I believe, a couple little squabbles that you got into on the back of the pack. A couple of guys trying to come down and clear off of your nose there. Up to the front for a while, led for a while, then went to the back. Man, walk me through your night and what went through your mind there at the end.
There at the end, I was trying to just generate a run. I really wanted the high side to work. We thought it would come in maybe 80 to 100 laps, and it just never came in. So really just trying to stay out of accidents and stay with Kinsley and Alex.
Yeah, it looked like on the end of that, and we talked about it here in the booth, where I just felt like the only way that you were going to be able to get a run, especially if you were third or fourth in line there, was being able to lay back a little bit on the entry of those turns and get a good run off. And you and Kinsley were able to do that. I think a little bit more energy there. You might have been fighting for that thing at the back of it. But did you know that Kinsley was going to come with you there at the end?
Yeah. He let me know that he would be with me if I made the move. He just left it up to me. So yeah, we definitely were trying to go for the win there.
Yeah, I believe just maybe even a half lap more, I think you might have had the energy to get up there and challenge it. But fantastic job here, coming home in second place on a tricky track, and that was a tough night. But, man, you had your elbows out and you drove a fantastic race. We'll turn it over to you, sir, and let you give your shout-outs.
We thank you very much. Appreciate Alex and Kinsley at Driving Extreme for picking me up for these money races, and we always want to thank Andrew for hosting the races and giving us the opportunity.
Yep, you are the man. Well, congratulations on your second place finish.
Hey, I was saying, and congratulations is well overdue for the birth of your child too, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, so there is your second place driver. Now let's see if we can get over to Blair Holloman, and let me see if I can call him up here, Russ, and we will have a quick chat with this gentleman. And Blair, this is John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys. How you doing?
Russ? I think maybe we lost Russ there. Hey, Blair, so fantastic job tonight. Looked like, once you got out front, it seemed like about, I believe, after that green flag pit stop, it looked like everybody was trying not to be the guy out front because they didn't want to suck up all of that fuel. But one, did you think you were going to be able to make it to the end? And then two, what do you think, went through your mind here on all of these restarts? Was it just making sure that you got a good start and got down in front of that 94?
Yeah, with the pit stop thing there, when we got off the pit road, we were still under green. I got to the front of the line. I'm like, I wonder why is everybody slowing down? And I see people drop off. I look at the fuel thing. I'm like half a lap to the good. I'm like, oh, okay. So if I'm short half a lap and those guys pitted 3 laps before me, yeah, I see where the problem is. But pretty much I was just going to pull it around till I really had to start saving fuel, and I was planning on dropping back. And we got lucky cautions when we did. It's just real quick, put tires on a fuel, knowing that tires are going to mean a little bit of something later in the run. But yeah, those restarts there, I was definitely worried. With that restart zone, you got to be, if you're going to try to jump the inside line, you have to be pretty much as soon as you're in there, you got to go. And I was definitely trying to time that the best I could. And that last time around, I was definitely a little more scared than normal because I know Teft on a restart, he's an animal. You give him an inch, he'll take it. So I wanted to make sure I was far enough ahead of him too, because he would have caught on exactly when I started going. I don't think I would have been able to drop to the inside. He probably would have beat me to it. So it's definitely a lot going on. It was fun.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, Blair, you were able to make that thing work. You played it to perfection, getting that car and that clean air out on the front. And, man, you never look back. So fantastic job here on picking up the win at a tricky track at Atlanta. I guess it's Echo Park now. So we'll turn it over to you, man, and let you give your shout-outs.
Yeah, this evening I was racing with the Misfits. So it was a fun evening racing with Truth and Chris. I don't think I would have won the race without having Chris behind me, being honest, because he was working with me there. And he had every chance that last lap to take that run that was generated there and shoot on by me, but he stuck with me, and that means a lot. So next time we get one of these events, I'll be sticking with him. So definitely thank you to the Misfits.
You got it. Well, thank you again, Blair, and congratulations on a great win.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, Blair.
All right, so there it is, Russ. Friday night, my friend, and Sunday night, here we come down to Hotlanta and put on one heck of a show here on Racers Elite Network. Man, what else can you say but fantastic job by these 3 drivers out front.
Yeah, absolutely. We, like you said, we did this Friday night, we did it here tonight, and they were really kind of mirror opposites, which was really surprising. Friday night, like we said, a lot of incidents earlier on in the race, and then it kind of calmed down towards, for the end. Here today, it was mostly calm through the beginning, and then it was, your chaos at the end. But, yeah, shout out to Blair, choosing the top side there on all those restarts. It really kind of paid off for him. Like he said, he was kind of worried, but, as long as you're the leader, you have that control. It gives you that advantage. So great job by him, and great job by the other two drivers for finishing on the podium tonight.
Well, you got it, man. I could not have said it any better. Russ, certainly appreciate spending this weekend with you. Call it a couple of races. We'll be back in a few weeks, as I believe we are going to handle that Thursday night Next Gen Series. But if you want to be a part of this league and you want to run into these races, just go to racerselite.com. Make sure that you give us a like and follow there on our YouTube and Facebook page. However you're watching us, we certainly appreciate that. And Russ, we'll see you soon.